Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. A huge thank you to each and every one of you who are here listening. Thank you for being such a powerful co-creative part of this community here. Now, there is one thing that is coming through really strongly even prior to shuffling the cards. And this was a download that I was receiving even this morning prior to recording this around the power of your open-heartedness and how it takes so much courage for you to keep your heart chakra open, for you to keep creating and communicating and living from the heart. And the reason this takes a lot of courage is because, in a sense, it speeds up the process of attraction and repulsion in your life based on someone else's personal level of heart openness. What I mean by this is when you are someone who lives and moves with your heart open, you radiate a kind of light that illuminates others. It has this exposing element. Now, naturally, if you encounter someone who is really deeply connected to their inner self and living authentically, someone who desires to be seen for their authentic self, and just communicating themselves in that way, then you are instantly going to feel a resonance with this individual and you're going to be able to connect very easily. But when you encounter someone who is guarded or someone who, for whatever reason, doesn't want to be fully seen for their authentic self, they will run away from you or back away from you because you are having this illuminating effect on them. They're feeling exposed and seen in your presence. And while the concept of being seen sounds so wonderful on the surface, and it is if you are someone willing to live authentically, but there are many who do not necessarily want to be fully seen or are not ready to be fully seen. And the reason this is coming up right here at the beginning of this reading is because I feel I'm speaking to someone here who has been doing, living, or sharing themselves in some kind of way that has been really vulnerable, in the sense that your heart has been really open through the process of doing this. And what I'm getting is that you've noticed maybe one person or maybe multiple people reacting to this heart openness in a strange or confusing way. So for example, you may have had someone go cold on you recently, or you might have someone who is exhibiting hot and cold behavior with you. And I'm hearing choose your heart and choose yourself over the opinion or reaction of someone else, no matter who that other person is, no matter how soul connected you might be to them. Because even when you have a deep soul connection with someone, such as a soulmate or a twin flame, still, when you are radiating this kind of powerful light energy through your heart openness around them, if that soulmate or twin flame isn't yet opening themselves to living in alignment with who they really are at the core, if they're still running from themselves in some sense, even one of those deeper soul connections could seem to be hot and cold with you at times, or might seem to pull back or distance themselves. And it's almost as though this message just keeps recurring around continuing to choose keeping your heart open, choosing yourself in essence over needing to be perceived or understood or responded to a certain way by others. And I'm not sure why exactly this message is coming up today, but maybe for someone listening, this has been a theme in your life recently. Maybe this is something that you've been dealing with. And if so, first of all, I want you to know how powerfully you are impacting the planet by living with your heart open. You have no idea just how far-reaching the impact of your heart openness is. You are literally uplifting, inspiring, and awakening others just by moving around the planet, keeping your heart open. Now, for some of you, this heart openness might literally be reflecting in something specific that you are creating, something you are doing, a way that you show up in the world. And it's interesting because a lot of what we've been channeling through these readings recently has been around how this next phase of your spiritual journey is asking you to be perceived or sensed by others in a more conscious way. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on social media or share something publicly or be in the public eye, although that will be the case for many of you listening. But this is simply that your frequency is being revealed to the world in a more conscious, cognizant way. And you are going to be felt, sensed, and seen by others more visibly and more profoundly in whatever way that means for you personally. So, of course, given that you are going to be perceived more consciously and visibly, this means that you're going to attract polarized reactions. This means that when you get really vulnerable and live really heart open, some people, they're going to feel very exposed by that energy. It's going to illuminate aspects of their inner self that they are feeling guarded about or that they haven't learned how to face yet. And yet, with Angel of Strength reversed, your vulnerability right now is your strength. This is your superpower. I'm also getting something about your open heart chakra energy being your currency, which I know sounds like kind of a strange message, but of course, energy, currency, abundance, all of these things tie together. And I feel as though when you live or create or infuse that heart open energy into what you are doing and how you are moving in the world, somehow this is connected to an energy of abundance that you are bringing into your life as well. So maybe this is a heart openness that you bring to your career or your business or the workplace or your life in some sense that is somehow creating and attracting material abundance and bringing it back to you in some sense. Now, for some of you, this might be a process. So if you aren't yet seeing this material abundance showing up, I'm just hearing this message that when you keep your heart open, that open heart chakra energy is also a form of very valuable currency in the sense that you are doing something very rare with your energy and others are really seeking some of that. They are seeking to connect with you from that heart open place. It's extremely valuable to those who are prepared to receive that kind of interaction. Now, I did get the journey card as well. So for some of you, you might be planning some kind of travel or a trip, and this might be a sign to really allow yourself to move with that inspiration. For others of you, you might literally be moving to a different location, but I do sense there's some other meaning behind this, and we have indecision. Okay, so here we're getting into what I was picking up on, which is someone or maybe a group of people, because you might just keep doing this to different individuals, either platonically or romantically, but this also could be a specific person that you've brought to some kind of crossroads. Now, this will sound familiar because we've talked about the crossroads before. This is when someone meets you or connects with you and they are spiritually activated in such a way that it literally takes them to this sort of tipping point, this moment of decision, this pivotal moment of their life where they are given an opportunity to make a new choice for themselves. I keep getting the word guarded. So I feel like there is someone who's a bit guarded or hesitant around you because they've been hurt in the past in some way. And this has actually caused this person to block off some of their heart chakra. And you came along and illuminated this heart wound, so to speak, this guardedness about them. And you are now giving this person an opportunity to choose a new path here, to be more open. Yes, to choose love, because we have Angel of Love in the upright position. The strange thing about the person coming up here is I feel that they perceive you in this truly angelic light. This is someone who really actually has you on a pedestal, but they may have you so much on this elevated pedestal that they actually might be hesitant or guarded around reaching out or communicating with you. I'm hearing planted a seed. So somehow something you did or said planted a seed with this person. And I'm hearing it might seem small or insignificant right now, but just like that seed has the potential to grow into this whole tree or whatever it is, what you are seeing now with this person is not a reflection of how you're going to affect them in the long term. It's not a reflection of what this is going to grow into. But the word patience is coming out as well, that the way you've affected this person, like that seed, it has this gradual unfolding growth process to it. It's not going to happen instantaneously. It's going to be a process, and a lot of that process is going to be very invisible, just like that seed growing initially beneath the earth. And I'm getting that initially at the moment, you might actually be feeling underappreciated or unseen by this person because we have appreciation reversed. You might be feeling some triggers coming up around feeling like this person isn't reaching out or communicating or even responding to this seed that you've planted. But again, you have to trust that you've planted the seed here because it is going to grow into something. But it's almost as though you are connecting with this person's higher self, with their potential, with them on a higher vibrational timeline that they physically haven't yet connected with themselves. So this is leading to a lot of complications because I'm hearing you're in love with this person on a higher timeline. I know this is going to get so specific, so only take this if it resonates for you. We do tend to channel many different people, energies, and connections through these readings, but I'm picking up on a specific group where you are actually, or you fell in love in a sense with this person's soul, with their higher self, with their highest potential. And they can sense that you see through to their highest potential. And that really activates this person. It's almost like, you know what I get? It's like you would meet or talk to this person, and then in that conversation, it almost felt as though, because this is actually what was happening, but you were connecting with this person on their highest timeline. You were communicating with them in that moment or in that conversation as though you were actually talking directly to their soul, to their highest self. And in doing so, you gave them a peek into how it could feel to fully merge and align with that higher version of themselves. And then they would walk away from that conversation or interaction, and they would feel this flood of inspiration and get busy starting to heal themselves or change their life. They'd feel all of this motivation and inspiration from you. However, they wouldn't reach out to you, or they wouldn't connect with you, even though they had you on this pedestal, felt so inspired by you and felt so fondly about you. So this may have been very confusing because it's like you can sense that you deeply motivated and inspired this person to heal themselves, to align with this higher timeline. And yet you felt left hanging. You felt like this person disappeared or went cold or wasn't really fully communicating or reaching out. And this is because your connection with them, although you have the ability, the gift to see into, and not just see into, but actually interact with multiple different timelines, this allows you to pull down the highest potential for others and help them to align with it more consciously. However, what this also means is when you do this and you really begin to like or fall in love with or feel warmly towards someone's higher version of themselves that they're working towards but not yet embodying, their physical self might actually go cold on you, distance from you, etc., even as they're feeling so inspired by you, until they fully merge and align with that higher version of themselves, if this makes sense. I know this is a really complex message, but whoever I'm speaking to here, this is the complex dynamic that you are experiencing with this specific person. Now, I am feeling some heartbreak on your end, whoever I'm speaking to, so there might be this feeling of, why isn't this moving faster? Or why am I not hearing from this person? Or what is going on here? Because there was this mutual inspiration, this passion, this excitement. I'm getting, you could see all over this person's face and in their eyes or their voice how much they admired you and how much they felt passionate towards you, which has made it all the more confusing that they've been disconnecting or been cold here. Again, I feel I'm speaking to a very specific group, but if this is you, know that it's not that this person is disconnecting from you. It's that you gave them this temporary glance, this peek into their own highest potential that you are now inspiring them to align with, but they don't feel as though they are that person, that higher version of themselves that you communicated with, that you are in love with, because they're not yet aligning with that on a regular basis. So when this person does touch more into that alignment with their own highest self, you will naturally find yourself increasingly hearing from them or connecting with them in the physical world. But just like that seed growing, this has to be a natural and automatic process here. Yeah, this is a spiritual activation. And it's almost like this person has to process this spiritual activation that's taken place because it was earth-shattering for them. This was truly groundbreaking. Something you gave to this person spiritually, energetically, an idea, something has been so groundbreaking to them, but they've been silent. Like they've not been communicating how inspired they've been or how groundbreaking this has been because they've been so busy following the trail of that inspiration, working on healing themselves, bettering themselves, and holding their distance because they have you on this pedestal and don't yet feel as though they can connect with you because they are not aligned with the version of themselves that you brought out in them in those meeting moments or those conversations with them, if that makes sense. Now, this is a really profound gift that you have, just speaking here in a general sense, because when you have the ability to see into unlimited timeline potentials, you're essentially reading the Akashic records for people that you interact with, but you're doing it very naturally and automatically. So simply by being around someone, you help them to more consciously pull down their highest timeline potential. Now, I do want to know a bit more about how this person is thinking and feeling at the moment. Clearly, you've tremendously spiritually affected them. I literally feel as though you've sparked an awakening within this person. So what else can I channel? I'm hearing they were already on some kind of self-help or self-bettering journey. So this might be someone who was really interested in self-help material or listening to podcasts, reading kind of books oriented to the mind or mindset or something along those lines. But I feel that you gave them a missing piece to the puzzle. And this is what was so groundbreaking to them, because the missing piece to the puzzle was this spiritual activation component that their soul was requesting, but that they were kind of running circles around until they met you. This is someone who was missing the spiritual activation component of really bettering themselves. Interesting. What else can I channel here? Okay, so tell me what this person is thinking or feeling here. What is this person thinking or feeling? Okay, this is someone feeling insecure. Yeah, they're feeling triggered because they feel as though they're lacking the confidence to approach you. This is what's got them feeling guarded around their heart space. They almost feel like to connect with you right now more physically would be a burden on you because they are aware that they are not aligned with that higher version of themselves that you brought out in them. Can I get more information on this person's insecurity? Why are they insecure? Okay, they feel as though they haven't planned enough for their future with the Three of Wands reversed, or that they don't really know where their life is going right now. However, with the Page of Pentacles upright, this is someone who is trying to better themselves, someone who is really working to, what are they working towards? Pull themselves together. Yeah, with the Ten of Swords in the reverse position, I feel this is someone who's gone through something extremely heavy that they've not been open about, but that you've sensed. So this may have been a loss. This may have been something they felt was a failure. This could have been a heartbreak from their past, but I feel there was something very heavy that felt like a rock bottom for them that, again, they don't tend to share with other people vocally, but that you probably picked up on. And it's like now this is someone trying to learn from their past and get their life together. I'm speaking in their words here. Now, I feel with the Knight of Wands upright that initially this may have been someone who really followed their passion and began moving very quickly towards you. So this might be part of the confusion because I feel, especially when this person saw you, if you saw each other in person or was around you, something about your conscious initial interactions really sparked this deep passion within them that even their own guardedness in their own mind couldn't hold them back from. But I'm also hearing you made it easy. What I mean by that is you sensed that you were meant to play some kind of role in this person's life. And so you put yourself in their vicinity, or maybe you approached them first or made it very easy for them to talk to you or interact with you or reach out to you. But on their end, they felt so much initial pull and passion towards you. But there's almost this sense of, where do I go from here? I get this feeling that the meeting between you was inevitable. It was so fated, and this person couldn't help but move towards you very quickly initially because they sensed on some level that you were meant to serve this purpose in their life, to spiritually activate them, to awaken them, to give them essentially this gift of some kind of activation, this missing piece to their puzzle that is now really helping them to align with this highest version of themselves. But the thing is, after that initial pull and those early interactions, it's almost like this person doesn't know what to do with you or with this connection that they've manifested here. I do sense that with Seven of Cups, they feel as though there's some element of fantasy or imagination here. When their mind gets in the way, they begin to wonder if they're just deluding themselves here. But when they're around you, the magnetic pull is so strong that they can't seem to deny or resist it. I do get the sense, I'm hearing this person is procrastinating your soul connection. So you might feel as though there's such deep potential here, but it's like they're putting something off, or they're putting it off for a reason, maybe putting it on the back burner because they know that they're not yet aligned with the person that you need them to be. They're worried about disappointing you. There is this Ace of Wands reversed. So this is someone who is all of the sudden hesitating. Now, part of this could be because they sense that you are someone with a lot of options with the Seven of Cups. And it's almost like they feel as though they can't compete with your potential other options or opportunities, or that's what their insecurity might be telling them here. However, they don't recognize the depth of connectedness that you're feeling to them. But I have to note here, because right when I said that, I sensed some of you wanting to reach out and explicitly tell them, this is the depth of connection I feel to you. But the thing about that is, and of course, I always recommend listening to your own intuition, but pay attention to where that impulse is coming from, because I'm getting that in most cases, this is a seed that you've planted with this person that's brought them to a crossroads. They're integrating the energy. And the most important thing you could do at this point is allow that seed space to grow, to no longer really involve yourself actively with the process, to give it a little breathing room, so to speak, and to allow it to unfold naturally, but also to give this person the space to step up and communicate themselves to you clearly, confidently in the 3D. I feel like for most of you listening, and you'll feel this most likely with your own intuitive guidance, you've been guided to not be the bridge for this person, to not at this point continue making it so easy for them to connect with you by making yourself overly available, but to really stay focused on your own self, your own path, choosing what is highest and best for you, and allowing this person the space to complete their own healing process and to integrate the very powerful energy that you've planted in their life. Now we keep getting the Two of Pentacles. So what I'm getting here is, this actually is coming into a balance and harmony. This person is working on balancing themselves out. And I see the two of you potentially balancing out in correlation to this person's internal balance as well. But again, this process is gradual. And I feel for most of you listening, it's so essential for you to allow this process to happen without your active, conscious involvement beyond this point. We do have the Magician. So I almost get like, after this person hesitating, taking the time to integrate the energy, beginning to work through their insecurities, it's almost like they begin to apply a lot of effort to try to manifest you, or to try to manifest this connection, maybe to manifest positive things in their own life as well. I'm hearing realization. So your distance, you allowing this person to feel the space, to feel the breathing room, maybe even to feel your absence if need be, this is actually going to push them into a realization. And in doing so, it's going to push them into their power as well, where they're going to reach this point of really wanting to manifest you, or manifest this connection into their life in a stronger way. But again, it's almost like you knocked this person off their feet in the best kind of way, energetically and emotionally, but they need some time to kind of regroup, to rebalance, and to integrate all of that. If this is connecting with you, I feel you might find some messages from my most recent reading video as well, around your absence really activating someone in some kind of way. This was my most recent video, so I do recommend going back and exploring that if you haven't already, although I know that many of you have already listened to that recent reading video as well. So I do want to get some more information on specifically, once this person regroups, rebalances, and begins to integrate this energy, how they're going to be trying to manifest you, or manifest this connection into their life. So I'm just going to pull a few oracle cards for this as well here, to really pull a few final specific messages here before we head into the extended reading. I am going to take a quick sip of my coffee here. Okay, so how is this person going to be manifesting you, or manifesting this connection? Okay, settling. So they're going to realize that to attempt to connect with anyone or anything else besides you is going to feel like settling. So I will say, for some of them, maybe they will go down a path of still trying to I'm hearing trying to live their life as it was before they met you, whatever that looked like. Maybe it was a routine they were in, maybe it was a person they were with, or maybe they were on the dating scene. But what they're going to realize is you've expanded their energy so that they don't fit into that old box of their life or their old habits or their old routines or relationships. This is because, again, you've quite literally expanded them into their highest potential that they are now beginning to merge with. Therefore, for them to connect with anyone else, it's going to feel as though they are settling. And they're also gradually going to begin to notice with the fifth dimension that the two of you are deeply connected in a way that is unexplainable to them. Of course, fifth dimension talks about that soul connection, that energy connection. But the reason I've been slow to use those words when we're channeling into this person's mind is I feel they are someone who's actually very skeptical of soul connections. However, the way your energy is going to affect them, there's something about the stars, maybe at night especially, they will feel your energy really strongly. Yeah, when they're in solitude, the memories of you come up, and it's not just memories, but it becomes this sense as though they are interacting with you or having conversations with you or connecting with you in real time, but invisibly. That is their way of perceiving this fifth dimensional space that they're a bit skeptical about and don't fully understand. It's almost like the solitude, the distance from you, the silence is what pushes them to realize that regardless of how little they see you or interact with you in the physical world, your essence still lingers with them. That is that fifth dimensional component to your connection that they are slowly going to begin to scratch the surface of understanding. And ultimately with the card offer, I see this pushing them into some kind of desire to make a gesture here or some kind of offer to move things forward in a way. So I said earlier, this person was wondering, how can I move this forward? And this seems to be that coming full circle, like a natural progression where they are going to find a way to move this forward. I'm hearing while keeping you in their life. I have to say, I just keep getting the sense this is someone that met you or connected with you and thought they could go back to their normal life or the way things were, but who is gradually going to realize through that distance and that separation that you've expanded them and that they can't return back to the way that things were because you've literally changed them on an energetic level. And that's ultimately going to push them to better understand this soul connection and actually offer you their heart in some way, or decide that they really desire to manifest you into their life in a consistent way because they know they're going to continue to feel that lingering sense of your soul essence kind of just there with them, even in your absence. So in the extended version of the reading, we will be channeling more into this. So we will be taking a look more deeply at this person's thoughts and feelings. You know what? I think we're actually going to do a full chakra read for this connection. So we're going to look at each of the 7 chakra centers and how they are feeling or thinking on each of those chakras, or how the two of you are connecting in that chakra, just depending on how it comes up in the reading. And of course, we'll be channeling any other people, situations, or energies that might be relevant to you at this time. So if you do want to join me in the extended reading on Patreon, the link to do so is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. For now, I am going to pull one final Rumi Oracle card to close the reading. Passion for purpose. It's interesting. I heard the passion between the two of you serves some kind of higher spiritual purpose. It's not just about the love or the romance or the physical connection. In fact, the majority of the purpose of this connection seems to be how it aligns the both of you more fully with your highest spiritual potential. the way that it inspires you to something or motivates you in some way, the powerful energy that it brings into your being and into your life. So I'm going to read just a short message from the guidebook here. Love like life flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, as we grow on the spiritual path, so too does our ability to serve life, to serve love, to honor humanity, and to offer a contribution that is unique to us, that could only flow in this particular way through the quality of your own soul light. Every light holds its own beauty, and every light has a particular task to fulfill on the divine path of life. Life supports all beings based on their true nature. So it is with humanity. Each one of us has something in our hearts that means something to us. It is irrelevant whether it seems practical or a recipe for success or not. We are simply meant to be what we are, to serve life faithfully from a place of honoring the truth of our nature, that which we feel genuinely passionate about, and to allow for life to naturally support growth according to our genuine nature. So that feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. If you do feel a resonance here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at @magnetizeyourself. And of course, if you do now feel guided to continue on with me to the extended version of this reading on Patreon, the link to do so is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have a beautiful remainder of your day and start to your week. And I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.